They're so happy to be here.
Hey, are y'all not happy to be here? Vanessa is. Anybody else? I'm pretty sure you're not, but it's. I'm just kidding. I know it is. That's the highlight of my week too. So we got a pretty good night tonight. We was worried for a minute. I ain't gonna lie, but. So I'm going to, remember I got up on stage earlier and was like, look, we're running a little behind. We're going to chill, mingle, whatever for a minute. Well, I'm going to go ahead and put him on blast and tell you why. So our guest speaker tonight is Dayton Livingston. So he was late, and I expected nothing less because I remember sitting in the cell on the can crew waiting on him to be there in the morning like, are we going out today? Are we going out today? And we'd be like, I guess we're not. And then, boom, he'd come through the doors. Here we go. So, so I'm used to that. And I'm sure most of us that's been on the can crew is too. Everybody raise your hand if you've worked with Dayton on the can crew.
Wow.
Did you just raise your hand, Vanessa? Oh. Okay, Jaron, come on over here to center stage, buddy. You got to be in the picture too.
I think they was more excited when I was hosting it last week.
Oh, okay.
You know, they were
How
hot.
did
they were hot, buddy.
How did Jaron do last week?
See?
Good. That was a pretty. Yeah.
Well, thank you, John.
I think Gunner got up here too, didn't he? Oh.
Yeah, as usual.
Yeah. All right. I'm sorry. You know. I apologize. I'm just kidding. Okay, so go ahead, buddy. Thank the people for the food.
Let's thank the people for food. All right, we got Sonia, Vanessa, Uchi, Sandra, and Luann, and Mr. Sean. Let's give them a round of applause.
And James Henson's just walking in. He's late. I'm just putting that out there.
We love you, buddy.
So you're not the last one here, Dayton. Just so you know. Or wait. Boom, there he is. There's the last one here.
All right.
Okay, so where was we at? We just thanked everybody for the food. So I do have a couple small announcements that I want to make because I'm proud of a couple people. For one, I'm super proud of my brother Corey Hazelwood because he got Employee of the Month at American Appliance. I don't see how, but he did. That's what I figured with that bonus money he won to the market thing or whatever.
Yeah.
No, but I am proud of you, buddy. I love you. So let's clap for him one more time. And one more person that I work with that probably hates working with me because I'm his boss, and he does not like to admit it. But he got him a new truck, and it's really nice, and I'm super proud of him, Justin Alvarez. Do you like working for me? Don't lie. I said don't lie. Well, no, we have fun at work. And then also, Jesse Cavett was on the news this morning. I forgot about that. Woo! And the one day I wouldn't let Alvarez listen to the news on the radio, Jesse was on there. So I feel stupid for that, so I apologize to both of you. Okay. All right. Do you got anything you want to say?
Yeah, we got one announcement. If you all vape or smoke, please try not to do it in front of the church. It looks bad on us, and just try to take it down like next to the dollar store or around the corner.
Just out of respect.
Yes.
I mean, just respect for the church. You know, you can do what you want. You're grown people, but just do it away from the door. You know what I mean? So we're not singling anybody out. We're just asking everybody to please do that out of respect for the church.
Are we guilty?
Because you're one of them. But anyways. And you are too, Larry. I seen you hiding. All right, sorry, single people out after I just said we're not singling anybody out. But okay.
Well, thank you.
Okay. We don't use that word anymore. It's called accountability. You want to tell them about that box back there in the corner?
Oh yeah, let's tell about the donation box. So every week, how we get food is there's a little box back there, and any donation does help. That's how we provide the meals. That's how we get chips. That's how we pretty much operate. So if God puts it on your heart, put it in the box.
All right, so let's do the chip ceremony. You want to? I'll get somebody
okay.
else there. Hey, here she comes. All right, Nicole starting everybody doing chips.
What is wrong with y'all? What? I know he used my government. Nicole Sarton. Anyway. Yeah. Well. Listen, I came here tonight because I needed God, but you're about to bring Grissa out. All right, here at CR, we like to give chips out for your recovery. And when I tell you it's an honor to have clean time, be proud of it. Don't be ashamed to come up here and get your chip, because I'm telling you, it gets me through most days, like today. You know, if it wouldn't be for my clean time and how good I've been doing back home, I'm telling you, my impulsive Rissa mind would have done kicked in clutch. But I look at my dash when I get in my car, when I get out of it, and I see my chip, and I'm so grateful for my CR family, because everybody knows I've had a bad day today, and I couldn't even get through the door without the hugs and people praying with me and just telling me that things are going to be okay. So I love you guys so much. You're a wonderful family to have, and it's amazing to be here. So let's give out some chips. Anybody got 30 days? No, beginner. My bad. Oh, I love you. I believe somebody paid you to say that, because you don't believe it. Anybody a newcomer tonight? We got anybody here for the first time? Come on, get you a chip. Welcome. You'll find a good family here. Welcome. Get you a chip from her. Welcome. Keep coming back. You'll find a good family here. Welcome, baby. Keep coming back. Anybody got 30 days? Anybody 30 days clean? Wait, yeah, I was about to say. Okay, so we having a little battle about this, guys. First of all, hold on a minute. This girl's actually got more than 30 days, but she says jail time don't count. Now, I got more drugs in jail than I did outside jail, so jail time does count, right? You're going to come back and get your 11-month chip. Thank you. All right. Settled that, huh? Anybody got 60 days? 60 days clean, anybody? No? Anybody got 90 days clean? Oh! Congratulations, girl. Anybody got 4 months clean? Oh! Yeah, you just stay right here. Anybody got 5 months clean? Anybody got 6 months clean? Look at her go, y'all. I'm telling you. Come on, Jerry. Is it 6? Anybody got 7 months clean? Congratulations. Congratulations. That's awesome. Anybody got 8 months clean? Oh. You didn't tell me, Larry. What? Anybody got 9 months clean? Hey. Congratulations. Anybody got 10 months clean? Oh, 10, my bad. 10 months. Well, you said 10 months in jail and then 30 days out of jail, right? That's 11.
About 9 months.
Girl, you clean. That's all that matters. You're clean. Anybody got 11 months? 11 months sober. God, don't get me counting today. I don't even know right now. 300, yeah, somewhere around 300-ish. What was on, 11? Anybody got a year? Congratulations. Anybody got 18 months?
Let's auction this out.
How'd you do it? Anybody got 2 years? Anybody got 3 years? Anything above 3 years? Everybody got a chip? Come on up for your picture. Yeah, everybody be careful on stage when you come up, please.
All right, cool. Let's give everybody a round of applause one more time for them chips. Let me move this out of the way real quick. All right, sorry I stress out about the music stuff. It's just expensive equipment, and I'm stressed about it every time everybody gets up on stage. But anyways, congratulations, Boopy. I love you, buddy. He's asked me for 18 months. When will we get out of jail? And we've been out of jail for 18 months. And he's asked me every day, when are we getting out, Joey? I'm pretty sure we're out, buddy. But I love you, Boopy, and I'm proud of you. Okay. Go ahead. But be careful. Be careful when you do. Okay, so let's continue on since he's actually here. You don't have anything else to say, right?
Nothing.
Okay, so just give me a minute. I'll tell you when. I'll motion for you to come up. So if you don't know Dayton, he's over the can crew and or the litter crew. Let me be correct pronunciation. Keep Cocke County beautiful. And Feed My Sheep Ministries, and they help a lot with the community. I've always liked Dayton. I've known him for a while. He's known a bunch of us for a while. He's a good dude. So I'm sure y'all will enjoy this. Do you have anything crazy to say about him or anything?
No, Dayton, he come pick up food from our work the other day. And one of the guys got out. Well, Dayton does not look in his rearview mirror because he hit the gas while I'm standing right behind him, and I'm screaming. And that's the only story I got on Dayton.
He's in a hurry.
He about killed me. Yes, yes.
Oh,
I didn't die.
but did
so,
you die? All right, everybody. So let's welcome Dayton Livingston.
All right.
Do you want the handheld or the headset? Okay. Just remember, are you getting in the chair? Yeah, I'm going to have to. I'll tell you in a minute. That's fine. Here, I'm going to put you center stage. There you go.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Well, howdy, howdy. So, who doesn't know me here? Who doesn't? Okay, all righty. Well, anyway, for those that don't know me, I'm Dayton Livingston. I work at the Cocke County Sheriff's Department. Like I said, do one of the can crews. But we run a ministry here in Newport. Be 23 years now. We do a 7-day-a-week meal kitchen. So just about got the hang of it. So I think we're gonna try to hang in there another year or so. But old Ochi's here. She's our tormentor down there. What do you call her? A sergeant, drill sergeant. But anyway, I wasn't always on this side of the law. Y'all may not believe that. But my mother was married 6 times, all to alcoholics, because she was an alcoholic. Okay, I was in reform school 4 times by the time I was 16. Okay, I do count myself as a quick learner, because I've seen a lot of y'all's bookend sheets. Okay? And after about 38, you go, they ain't getting it. Okay, so, but I'm going to tell you some things about me and where I came from, what God did to me, and where we're going, okay? The best thing is we got the best thing going on, and I hope that y'all know that here tonight, that you've made that commitment to give yourself to Jesus, not to just say, I want to go to heaven, because that's what I call welfare Christianity, just enough to get to heaven, okay? What God's looking for is people that will put their hand to the plow. You with me? Take something, say, oh no, I know what I'm supposed to be doing, and I'm going to do it, okay? And so, and I promise you one thing too. I hated restaurant work. Listen, no education. I got my GED at 46 years old, okay, so I could go to work at the Sheriff's Department. And the last thing that I ever wanted to do when I got out of the restaurant business, I started working on cars, was to ever be in any kind of food service. I hated it. Hated it. When you're poor and uneducated, you got 2 things you can do. Okay? Construction work or restaurant work. Okay? And I was kind of lazy. So I went with the food. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, but so it has to be God, because I never want to be in food service. And guess where we're at now, huh? But I said, not my will, but your will. So, and that's, of course, if you do that, you'll find yourself in an incredible place. And he'll always, I know this is one of them cheesy sayings, you know, if it's God's will, it's God's bill, okay? But it's true, okay? At Feed My Sheep, we've been there 23 years. We do not have the bills paid. You understand what I'm talking about? It's not like we know that the bill's going to be paid. So-and-so is donating this, so-and-so is donating that. Guess what? It comes in. I get so used to it now, I don't even worry about it. Last 10 years, I just go, hey, I'm going to come in and open the doors up. God, you take care of the rest of it. Okay? So, and that's the way, and he'll do that for you if you're faithful. Okay? And it doesn't matter what you put your hand through, he'll do it. So, but anyway, I do appreciate you giving me an opportunity to come up and speak. The reason that I'm sitting down is at the first of the year, the doctor put me on a drug called Zeta for cholesterol. Okay, I was already taking a statin. I had a severe reaction. I took it for 2 months, and you have no idea the excruciating pain, and it has actually deteriorated my muscles in my legs. So anyway, it's very hard for me to even walk or do anything. So normally I get it and go, but now I have to get everybody to do everything for me. So, but anyway, at least I ain't hurting like I used to. You have no idea the pain that I was in. So, but God is good. There's a reason for it. I just don't know it yet. But I will tell you this. It has humbled me quite a bit. So, of course, that's one thing God's always going to work on you. When I was a young Christian, I hate to tell you this, but, and even as an older Christian, I've been saved since '97. So I've been saved longer than I was lost, okay, now. But I was very hard. I thought I would go get her. I got saved, knew it God. 6 months into it, God called us to help people. And we went to work, And guess what? I was thinking, well, if you're going to be a Christian, you have to act like. Isn't that something? I don't really, he ain't doing work. He ain't working. They ain't working. They ain't doing nothing. They're just faking it. Isn't that terrible? Love people, witness people, but still was judging people. Was hard. And so one of the things I can tell you in the last 10 years, God has really softened me up. And I go, thank you that I made it this far. Amen. Amen. So anyway, my mother was married 6 times, all the alcoholics. I was in reform school 4 times by the time I was 16. And anyway, sex, drugs, rock and roll was pretty much the main thing. Thank goodness that crack and heroin and meth was not in my circle. Do you hear me? We were just potheads, pill heads, and drank, okay? But you know what? If meth or heroin or anything like that would have been in my circle, guess what I'd have done? I'd have jumped right in there. Now, we always turned away. We'd like, I don't leave that stuff alone. But if I'd have had me a friend that hung around long enough, guess what? I'd have jumped right on it, okay? Because you know what? You do that one thing that one time, it ain't one time, is it? Turns out to be a lifetime. But anyway, the one thing I want to say about my mother is she's crazy. Okay, if nothing was going wrong, she was solid. Okay, but when stress came in, okay, my mom. Okay, you got to remember this is the 70s. Hello, anybody lived in the 70s? Anybody lived in the 60s? Okay, well, anyway, now you can walk up and down town, look like you fell into a tackle box, have sex on the corner. They go, oh, that's just Joe. You couldn't do it in the 70s. My mom would get drunk or she would sleep with somebody, and guess what? We moved 30 times in 10 years. So I had no clue, talking about not being able to make relationships, because I was ready to break every tie and everything at any moment. So it took me 25 years to bond to my wife. You hear me? You know why? Because I was still ready to walk out the door. And who else had that lifestyle? I know there's a bunch of people here. Dysfunction has to be rampant. You couldn't keep anything. You couldn't, and there was no solid. I was ready to walk out the door. I remember I was 11 years old and I got a spanking. You know what it's for? I got whooped because I unpacked my box. Came in the room. My mom was like, keep that box packed. You know why? Because there was many nights I woke up in the car at 3 o'clock in the morning. Where are we going? Don't know. Because she'd burnt that bridge. We had to move. So anyway, dysfunction turned out. And then guess what? I became a rock and roller, son. I had hair down to my butt. Now the only place I have hair is on my butt. Anyway, hey, too much information. Okay. So for about 4 years, so in the height of my drug and partying, we were playing on the UT Strip. A lot of the bars ain't even there anymore. But we got into that lifestyle. I met my wife. She came and saw me on Thanksgiving night. We played at the Pink Flamingo. Huh? Son, I wooed her with my wild ways, too. Lord, was that the biggest mistake? No, actually, it was the best thing that ever happened to me. So at the time, I didn't think so, because guess what? I got her pregnant. And then she started going, I don't want to. Oh, by the way, I was a self-proclaimed atheist. Let me tell you this, because you'll like this one. Can you believe that God can get a heathen to preach? Say, my great aunt was a missionary, okay? She waited 40 years on her husband. Her husband was married to another woman, but God said, he's going to be your husband. She had to wait until the wife died. That's some serious stuff. You hear me? That's serious stuff. But anyway, I'm going to tell you more about my aunt here in just a little bit, because I used to think I just straightened myself up. You know what I'm saying? Just made a lot of good decisions. And guess what? Not even close. But one thing that my aunt did do is when my mom was in the worst spots of her life, she would take us when she was in country. Okay, she would take us, and we would stay with our great aunt, Aunt Sarah. And so she actually worked for Columbia Christian College. She would like make their booklets and their tests and all that kind of stuff, and had a printing company. And that's how she funded a lot of stuff that she did. But since she was inside with the school, there was Columbia Christian School Elementary. And so she got us in with a good deal. You hear me? When my mom was messed up, we'd go to Columbia Christian School in Columbia, South Carolina. And the few things that I can remember as a young child, you remember the stories that Noah, you got, David and Goliath. And then, of course, I remember that the one teacher said to me, and now you remember you're little, but I remember she said, the reason that Satan hates you is because you're created in the image of God. And when he sees you, he sees God. Pretty simple, ain't it? Just simple doctrine. But let me tell you about me, okay? I did two things, okay, I was known for. Acid. My cousin over in Charlotte, North Carolina would send me 50 hits at a time. I always had acid, so everybody came to me for the acid. And I always had pot, okay, that was it. And, of course, you long-haired rock and roll, in the band, okay? And that was not only that, too, but you could get people to come see you. Come see me at the bar, man. But guess what? So my customers, which I couldn't stand, were the Gothic people. But they bought drugs, okay? So you dealt with them because... So guess what? I would go over there, and I had this whole thing worked out in my mind to make them look stupid. And here's how it goes. I'd be like, man, y'all believe in God? We're smoking dope, just casual conversation. No, man, it's all a lie. It's a big thing just to control people. The whole 90 things. And I'd be like, I'd let it go. I'd be like, later on, I'd go, y'all believe in Satan? Satan rocks. He's the dude. Let that go. And remember, my purpose was not to preach. My purpose was to make them look stupid, okay? Then I go, where'd Satan come from? Because I'd learned enough in this little Christian school, right, that he rebelled against God and got kicked out. And they'd be like, well, and they come up with some of this and some of that. And I go, doesn't it say that God created him and kicked him out of heaven? Then I'd sum it up by going, man, if I was going to believe in anything, I'd believe in God instead of Satan, the loser. Here I was, a self-proclaiming heathen, preaching the gospel. Now I'm going to tell you, God's big. Let me tell you about my aunt. At her brother's funeral, we come up to the wake, and of course what happened was her brother lived in French Guiana, El Salvador, Nicaragua. He was there for 28 years. Anyway, the only way they communicated was actually writing letters, okay? And my aunt, of course, wrote quite a bit. And so she would write him letters about what's going on here in the States, us. And his wife was much younger. She was from Nicaragua. And but anyway, she had kept every one of those letters. And I sat down at that funeral, after the funeral, at the gathering, and started reading these letters. And my aunt wrote to her brother John and said, I've taken it upon myself to pray for Dayton, the bastard. Well, that's some strong word, ain't it? Huh? But guess what? In the 70s, my mother, by the way, I'm not just a bastard. I'm an illegitimate bastard. Does anybody know the difference? If you're just a bastard, that just means that you were not married, okay, when you got pregnant. What does it mean to be illegitimate? No, she knew exactly. Terry Dennis Kelly, a red-haired as Irishman. Nope. Bingo. My mother was married. So she fooled around with Terry Dennis Kelly, and here I am. So anyway, she said in that letter that she had taken upon her because this poor little bastard, I'm using literal words, okay, is going to have a rough time in life. You understand? And I've taken it upon myself to pray for him. I used to think that I did something. You with me? Hello? I thought, boy, I just straightened myself up, made some good decisions, got a good woman, did what was right. I don't know about you, but I sold drugs. I wrecked a car, didn't pay the fines, drove drunk. Hello? Drove at 3 o'clock in the morning. I did everything I could do to destroy my life. If I would have got in jail one time, if they'd have got me for DUI, I never would have paid the fines, and guess where I'd be at? I'd be sitting right with y'all tonight, if I was lucky. Hello? But I'm going to tell you something. When you have the favor and the hand of God upon you, hello? It took me a while for me to understand that, yes, I made decisions, and everybody's accountable. Hello? But there's also, if you find you a good woman or a good man that'll pray for you, sometimes I didn't know about it for 30 years. But guess what? The favor of God, the blessing of God was on me. Hello? That's big. That's big. That one thing in itself just absolutely floors me because I thought, well, I just straightened myself up and did what was right. But the favor of God, and he shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water that bringeth forth his fruit in his season. And whatsoever he doeth shall prosper. That's the man I want to be. Hello? I want to put my hand to something and it blessed. I don't want to be cursed. I've been cursed before. I've been undone. Hello? Am I talking? I know many of y'all have had on cruise before. Been there, done that? But I'm going to tell you what, by the power of God, where you sitting at now? Well, let me tell you a few things. I just want to get that going, but so of course I wasn't planning on straightening up by any means. That was not in the plan. My plan was to get a contract or sell an album and go nationwide, right? It don't work in the real world, okay? But God had other plans. So, and of course, my wife comes to me. We got a baby. And she drops the truth bomb on me. She was like, here I am. I'm got a kid. And you're an atheist. I'm married. I'm not married. She said, I'm going with an atheist, and as soon as you get a gig or something, you're going to be gone. And guess what? She was 100% right. Son, if I'd have signed a contract with somebody, I'd have went gigging, I'd have been gone. I'd have dropped it like a hot potato. But God's got different plans. Hello? Anyway, we broke up for about a week. And I finally come back to her and I said, I'll give this God of yours a try. It's been the best thing that's ever happened to me. Been the best trip. You have no idea what took place and what. I went to church for 2 years and could care less. I was only there because, you know what? I grew up with 5 men that didn't want me. They only wanted mom. Hello? And all I could see was the same thing. I was like, man, you know what I'm saying? I don't want my kid to grow up without knowing his father. You want me to tell you what that was? That was the first selfless thing I did. Because everything before that time, if it didn't make Dayton happy, if Dayton didn't get some out of it, you might as well forget that. We weren't playing this game. Everything revolved around me. And all of a sudden I said, wait a minute. Let me do something for somebody else. Isn't that big? That's big. That's all of a sudden. Oh yeah, you know when I got into politics? The first time I went to that courthouse and paid land taxes. I mean, before that time, I was just like, whatever they're going to do. I don't care about all that voting stuff and care who's in there. But I can tell you one thing, when I put that money on that counter, I go, what am I paying for? The world got bigger. Hello? Guess what happened when I said I want to do something right for my son and soon-to-be wife? Let me do something for them. Guess what happened? The world started getting bigger. You started seeing a whole lot more. Instead of this little tiny group that you had, guess what? You can start seeing the big picture. And at that time, it was going fast because guess what? I went to church for 2 years, could care less. Not only that, I've been baptized 3 times. Of course, you know, the great aunt lines you up, you know, kids, you know. Do you believe in Jesus? Yes. You know, got that taken care of. Then I'm sitting in church, unsaved. My wife is recommitted, right? She never got baptized. Well, of course, the pastor came up and said, you know, you want to get baptized? Talking to my wife, and she goes, yeah. And he looked at me and said, you want to get baptized? I'm like, sure. I was no more saved than a baseball and high weeds, huh? I ain't nothing. I was lost, son. So, but anyway, then I got saved, got sold out. When I got saved, I shaved a cross in the back of my head. Okay? I'm serious. And now, of course, it took me about 6 months because I was still hanging on to them rebellion. So it took me about 6 months to cut my hair and take that earring out. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, and after that, you know, I was talking about I was sold out. Oh, I got it bad. Let me tell you how bad that was. I got saved. I went home and cut the cable. I come home one day. They had that Herbal Essence shampoo commercial. You know, she's having an orgasm while she's washing her hair. We're all adults here, ain't we? I mean, is there any kids or something? Did I miss something somewhere? Okay. It bothered me so bad. I literally went outside, grabbed a pair of pliers, and cut that thing. And I said, that's it. We're not going to do this anymore. We didn't have TV for 2 years. And then we found Sky Angel. Listen, I sold out. You hear me? There wasn't anything. Listen, if the doors of the church were open, guess who was there? I did anything and everything because guess what? I love the Lord. I knew I had a calling. I knew I had to do something. I could not sit still. My wife was like, I want him saved, but I didn't want this. The only problem was I had that addictive personality, and guess what? I traded it right in for a new addiction. Jesus became my new addiction, and it wasn't good. No, give me straight. Because listen, ambition, and then I got a pastor who really enjoyed it too. Because guess what? Yes, sir, I'll do that. I'll do that. I didn't say no to nothing. Now, listen, sometimes people go, I say, you take care of this, this, and this, and then we do this. Hello? Everything's got to be in order. So, but with that said, we went hog wild, son. We went to Trinity Baptist Church, had about 300 members. Why is it that like you own regular church, you'll have 300 members, you know, but you only get 150 of them, right? You know, come to church. And then you have that Wednesday night eating meeting. You'll have 500 people there. I found out who they are. They're Free Meal Baptist. That's who they are. Free Meal Baptist. So anyway, of course, like I said, we got going, started all kinds of stuff. Actually started the soup kitchen as we know it today. My wife, of course, she was driving me crazy because she needed something to do, you know. And anyway, we got together. We decided to start 3 things: clothing, food, and jail ministry. I went to jail ministry, okay? And so my wife, I was like, man, she needs to be doing the food, you know. So she took that part, and another couple took the clothes. And so that's how it started. In a year and a half, when the church kind of lost entrance by the way, found some things out. Sometimes the calling is for you and not the church. Hello? If God's putting something on your heart and the church goes, well, we'll try to vote on that, or we'll try to do something. Guess whose calling it is? So don't blame the church for not getting behind you. Hello? It's yours. You do something with it. That's really important because God is going to do some things in your life, especially when you're young Christian. He's going to make you lay that thing down. Okay, mine was music. Okay? Mine was music. Had big plans for Jesus. I want to have a band, have youth conferences, stuff like that. And it burnt me up so bad. I'm talking about, son, I had this whole thing going on. I had to lay it down. I said, Lord, I've been trying. I'd run ads in papers trying to get a band together. Okay? For a year and a half. Couldn't do it. Finally, God gets with me. And I go, you know what? I don't care if I ever play music again. I just want to serve you. I laid it down. I was willing to sell everything I had. 2 days later, I was in a band. Do you understand what I'm talking about? God made me sacrifice that one thing that I was holding on to. He will do the same thing to you. He will make you, whatever it is. I don't know what yours is. I can tell you mine was music. But whatever it is, relationship, kids, job, position, something you're holding on to, I don't know. But He's going to make you put it on the altar. You know why? Because He wants to be number one. He wants to make sure that He's number one. And He will, by the way, if you hadn't done it yet, you keep doing what you're doing, and He'll ask for it. And then it's up to you whether you're going to lay it down there or you're going to hang on to it. Some of those battles last a long time. Some people still hanging on to stuff. Hello? So anyway, we're doing pretty good. Church, got everything going. Guess what? They decide to put me on the board of directors. Oh boy, I was somebody. Not only that, but you remember I was telling you about that eating meeting, we do the voting and all that stuff, and they just put me on it. Then we go out and eat. Everybody's patting my back. Congratulations. Great. And I was starting to believe it. And guess what? I went over, ate, took my trash over there to the trash can just heaping over. And I was like, who's going to do the trash? You know what the Lord told me? He said, you'll do that until you leave this church. And guess what I did every eating meeting? I brought my pickup truck, parked it right beside the back door where the trash cans were at. Not only did I make sure they were changed, but I hauled the garbage off. Hello? That was one of the first. It doesn't seem like, what's that got to do with anything? God said, you better stay humble. Hear me? Because one of the things that happen, you start making good decisions, you start moving up, and that's when Satan comes in. He changes his suit and tie. Hello? Used to be drugs and alcohol and lifestyle. Wait until that pride comes in. Oh, I'm doing good. Satan just puts on a different suit and he'll get you. Hello? So anyway, we move on from that. After about a year and a half of us running the soup kitchen, it wasn't for the church. So anyway, they voted unanimously to let us take it over. And so at that point in time, we moved from where we were to where we're at down there. That was 2004. And so when we took it over to be independently, and we've run it ever since. And like I said, the bills have never been 100% paid. There's been some times where we had some surplus money, but we never know. It's not like, so-and-so's paying the rent, so-and-so's paying the electricity. We have to operate by faith. Hello? And it becomes easier and easier as you go on. What you're struggling with today, in 5 years, there'll be a different struggle. Hopefully, if you're moving up, there'll be a different struggle, the calling. So, anyway, of course, we got into ministry, do what we did. We homeschooled our kids until they were, I think it was 11 or 12, and they wanted to play football in high school because they didn't have anything that they could do. So, of course, we kind of got back in the world out there. And guess what? That's another problem, too. Ain't nothing worse than being a Christian and sheltering yourself away. Lost contact with everybody. My little world. Guess what? Let's jump to 2015 when I went to work at the sheriff's department. Okay? I ran my own garage, worked for myself, had my own ministry. Okay? There was nobody ever cussed. A couple of times I had customers who were mad. say a couple things. I say, hey, you try not to do that. I mean, but it wasn't bad, Guess what happened when I went to work for the Cocke County Sheriff's Department? You think the inmates are bad? You ought to see the COs and the cops. Son, Bob Shaft, anybody y'all know him, detective? Oh, Lord. MFer. I mean, he just walked up and down the halls saying MFer. For the first 6 months that I worked at the Sheriff's Department, you know what I heard? I would go home at nighttime, and all I could hear was cuss words going around in my ears. I had sheltered myself away, and we'd pushed every bit of the world out. Hello? But guess what? Man, you lose contact, you lose reality. Because guess what? When I went to work for the Sheriff's Department, I ran my own business, run a ministry. Guess what? I am nowhere even close to being a top dog. Son, I was on the bottom, okay? Not only that, too, but I had to go get my GED. I thought me and Mondo was pretty cool. I thought, man, you let me slide on this, because he gave me an application. Tell you what happened was we used to get inmates to work at the ministry, and so I'd oversee them. Well, what happened was he was like, we need to get you some certification and stuff, since you're going to have inmates pretty regular. And I went home, come back next day, and I said, I want to be the police. I said, how about being a reserve? He said, oh, yeah, that would solve all the problems right there. Get you bonded, get you training. He said, I took that application home. First thing it said, must have a GED or high school diploma. I went back to Mondo. I was like, it's like, sorry, man, if you want to wear a suit, you want to put that badge on, you got to go. So guess what I did for 2 weeks? I didn't realize that you wrote an essay. I thought it was like a Mexican hung out on the corner. You know what I'm saying? I never even knew that. So anyway, I had to go for 2 weeks, and I studied. That was the most grueling time in my life for me. I remember being so stressed, but I finally got it done. Hello? Just so I could be the police. Hello? Just be a volunteer. I was just going to be a reserve officer then. That was 2011. Okay? That's just so I could put on the suit. But boy, what had changed. Used to, it was all about me and doing what I wanted. And then guess what? And then I had to go out and put myself in an authority structure, and I'm nowhere even close. I thought I was somebody. Guess what? Wait till you go to work in a place that believes in structure. And I messed up big time. I don't know if y'all know this or not, but I got 4 times got suspended without pay because I did stupid things. And you can't believe it, can you? Good old preacher boy. I stepped in it many times. Now they think I walk on water down there too. I got them fooled pretty good. No, I actually figured out that if you do your job and do it good, nobody looks over your shoulder. Guys, if one thing I can tell you right now, stop cutting corners. Stop cutting corners. Do it before it needs to be done. Do it on time, and I'll tell you what, they'll stop looking on you. If you got a boss right now that's down your back, you're the problem. When you figure out, let me go ahead and actually be one step ahead. Let me see what needs to be done and then get that done. They'll stop looking over you. Matter of fact, they might start saying, we got Employee of the Month. Huh? You did that by caring about the company. By saying, this is what I need to be done. This is what needs to be done. Let me do it. Hello? What about that trash? Man, who's supposed to be taking this trash out? Let me get it done. I made a series of decisions to say, let me do stuff ahead of time. But I also was only guided, hello, listen to me, only guided by God, because if I had not done it God's way, I'm going to sum something up for you real quick. The ways of God are the blessings of God. If you don't do it God's way, there's only one thing that happens. You're cursed. There's not an if, and, or but. Either you're blessed or you're cursed. Do you hear me? You can't accidentally do the will of God. The only way that you do the will of God is you set your mind and your heart to it, and you do it. Then you have to start doing, Our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Since your kingdom is coming, I will do your will on earth as it is in heaven. You make that in the first person. It's me. And if you start doing those things, you will be blessed. Now, I'm going to tell you something, too. Of course, I remember, let me tell you about my conversion, about being saved. I've kind of jumped over that. Anyway, so I'm working at a garage in Gatlinburg. I'm starting to pay a little bit more attention, starting to listen to the preacher, and so this is even before, like I said before, I radically got saved. But anyway, I was testing the waters. And I remember I came to work that morning, and I had made my mind up. We were in the third day, it was Wednesday, third day of revival at the church we was going to, little old tiny church. And I remember waking up that morning. That morning, I woke up and I said, today's the day. Today's the day. Tonight when we go to church. Now let me tell you something. I didn't have any goosebumps. Sky didn't part. I didn't hear angels singing. But you know when I got saved? That morning when I woke up, I said, I made a decision. Now, the only difference is I want to tell you this too. Salvation and sanctification are two different things. Big churchy words. Huh? Salvation is simple. Believe Jesus Christ, Son of God. Believe He died on the cross for your sins. Rose the third day. He sits at the right hand of the Father, and through Him and Him only are you saved. Guess what? No goosebumps, no nothing. If you believe those things, you're saved. Bingo. Nothing there. Well, wait, what? Now let me tell you the difference. What I said that morning was, I'm going to start working for you, God. I'm going to start doing it your way. So anyway, when I got to church, I was sitting on the side of the pew, son. I already had one leg out, and I was like, if you'll shut up preaching. Now, the funny thing is, I went to work that morning, okay? And there's 4 other people there, and I remember testing water. And I'd already been listening to preaching on TV, even with them, they come in and turn it, But anyway, I told my boss, what would you do if I so plumb out and went full Christian? He was like, that'll never happen. I already did. He had no clue. Son, as soon as that preacher said, if anybody, wham! And guess what? Oh, there was goosebumps and sweating. It was all I could do. Everybody was slobbering all over me. But I was no more saved that night than I was that morning. It's just the difference between fellowship. Hello? I'd already made the commitment. So I want to tell you, sanctification is setting yourself apart for the service of God. That is what will make you sweat. That's what's going to make you stand up and go, man, I got to get some stuff. I got to do some things. I don't know if I can do this or not. Man, those things got to change. That's sanctification. You hear me? Not salvation. People get those things mixed up so much. Oh, I felt God. You know what? Show me God. Show God. You start acting and doing His things. Listen, when somebody steals and lies and cheats you, and then all you can do is bless them. Don't mean I don't want to punch them in the mouth. Somebody lies and cheats to me, don't mean I'm going to go hug her neck. But let me tell you something. I don't have to go punch them in the mouth or sit there and think for 5 days about how I'm going to burn their car down huh? Now, I promise you I'll never loan them any more money. You with me? That whole forgive and forget stuff, I don't know who come up with that. Because you don't ever forget. But you can forgive. And forgive means that you took the penalty away. Hello? Now, you're just a fool if you just let them come back in, do it to you again, okay? All right? Guys, the only thing I can tell you is that it wasn't me, okay? I'd like to sit up here and go, boy, I made all kinds of good decisions and did the right things. I did. I had to do those things. I had to stand up and say, I'm going to get these things done. This needs to be done. Let me do it. But you know what? I can also tell you, too, my great aunt prayed for me. Because guess what? I was hell-bent on getting into jail. All it would have took was one DUI one time getting busted selling acid, one time getting the court system, guess what? I wouldn't be here. Wouldn't be doing what I did. So what I'm trying to tell you is, y'all need to pray for each other. Hello? Stay on it. Don't get tired. Can you not pray with me 1 hour? Oh, by the way, when it says, what would Jesus do? Do you know how he talked to his disciples sometimes? We all see all the good stuff, right? How much longer must I endure you? That's what he said to his disciples. What would Jesus do? He went and braided a whip and cleaned the house. There's a time for love. There's a time for mercy. But there's also a time for action. Hello? If you got a bunch of garbage in your house, get it out. You hear me? Not only that too, but y'all really need to start looking. We're all caught up in symbols, tattoos and stuff. But I'm going to tell you, there's a lot of stuff that you got in your house that's pure wickedness. And those actual curses go with that. I know of a family that actually went and bought the Last Supper, paid $17,000 for it. The day they brought it in their house and put it over top of their fireplace, they had pure torment. It took them 2 years before finally one guy goes, where'd you get that at? Oh, we bought it overseas. They had put curses over that. And they brought it in their house. Now let me tell you something. You want me to tell you the hard thing? That man had to actually burn that thing, $17,000. And it was worth more than that if he'd have sold it. But you have to come to the point, am I going to give somebody else the curse? Or am I going to start handing blessings? I don't know about you. My mother was messed up. Like I said, you want me to tell you something about my mother, though? She would beat us. Well, not bad, but, she but guess what? Not one husband, one father-in-law, one whatever they are, no one was able to hurt us physically or molest us. She would not let that happen. You want me to tell you something I know for sure? A lot of y'all didn't have that. A lot of y'all had parents that either wasn't even there at all or didn't care. As long as they got what they wanted, they didn't care what happened to you. Am I talking to some of you? I don't know what it's like. Listen, I used to think, boy, I had a rough upbringing. But at least my mom stood in the gap for me. You with me? She wouldn't let nobody else hurt us. She might kill us, but So guys, but you know what? We all come to that accountability. We have to say, either I'm going to continue handing the cursings that I got, or I'm going to break that cycle. And the Bible says what? He says, do not return evil for evil, but contrary, blessing for cursing. Now that's hard. That is hard. I will tell you this one thing. We had this family that we helped quite a bit. At Feed My Sheep. We really did a lot of stuff for them over the years. And it was great-grandmother, grandmother, mother, and daughter. So we're talking 4 generations. And we helped them quite a bit. They went to another ministry that was handing out turkeys. Okay? To get a turkey dinner, that you could take home and cook. And told one of the ladies there, well, Dayton and them, well, Lord, all they do is stay on vacation. We hadn't been on vacation in 5 years. But guess what? Even the lady told her, she goes like, I knew it wasn't true. But you know what I had to do? I had to let that go. I've actually had people come against us, lie, cheat, steal. When you're doing what is right, when you're holding the line, you know what I pray for people now? I said, Lord, have mercy on them. Because I've seen even worse things happen to people. Hello? And if you have the favor of God, what does he say? Vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. And I'm going to tell you something. If you got the favor of God, he don't let things go. I don't know if y'all ever read Numbers 12 or not, but Aaron and Miriam come against Moses. Anybody of y'all remember that? Do you know why he come against him? Because he married a black woman, an Ethiopian. Can you believe that? Moses, how dare him? Brother and sister come against him. Guess who stood up? God stood up and said, "Who are you not afraid to speak against mine?" And he cursed him. Her, she was set out because I believe the reason that the brother didn't get leper and she did because, I'm sorry, women. Some of y'all like to get some stuff started. But guess what? He put her out of the city, okay, for 7 days, and then told Moses to pray for her. Do you see that? Moses, who was the one that was getting lied on, cheated on, getting ready to get thrown out of the ministry, had to pray for those that was trying to throw him out of the ministry. And the second thing that tells me too is that I don't think God's against interracial marriages. If God stood up for it, do you need a higher authority? I don't think so. Guys, I want to thank you for listening to me tonight. I'm just going to tell you, the one thing I want to encourage you most of all, and I could tell you, because these kids come in every year from Michigan, and I speak to them. Of course, I don't do the preachy type thing to them. I just tell them I got a whole spiel that I can do, and I started to do it tonight, but I wanted to talk God with you for a little bit instead. But I want to encourage you, because I'm going to tell you right now, the reason a lot of y'all are in jail is because you're running from your calling. Do you hear me? I believe that with everything in me. You got great power and favor with God. People's prayed for you. Grandmamas, mamas, uncles, cousins, brothers prayed for you for years. And guess what? You ran and you ran and you ran. Stop running from it and run to it. The Bible said that Christ ran to the cross. He embraced the cross. Now, of course, he was getting... You want me to tell you the best thing? The one thing I don't understand? It's not that he ran to the cross, because he knew as soon as he hit the cross, he was going home. Hello? My biggest thing is, can you imagine being worshiped? The Son of God? Have to put that down and have some woman wipe your butt and feed you? That's the biggest miracle I think ever happened, is that he stepped out of heaven. Hello? And he did that just for us. And then he said, guess what? I can't do my will, but the will of him who sent me. What I'm trying to encourage you tonight, y'all got great callings on you. Y'all can do great things. You've seen the bottom. It's only up from here. Y'all can change this world. You can start with Cocke County. You can change this world. You have that power. You don't believe it. Right now you think, man, I'm telling you, you got more than what you think. You're more than what you think you are. You stick in with God, what did he say? All things are possible. Well, guys, I love you. Thank you for giving me this chance.